Thank you for inviting me. And well, I should like to start by remarking that most of the discussion is around policies ex ante, that is, policies for mitigation of climate change. And probably too little attention is being paid and is being paid to policies of adaptation. That is what happens, what we can do once some increase in temperature has taken place. Now, I'm personally practicing some adaptation by adapting my dress in this meeting, and I hope that you will be understanding and not take it as a lack of respect towards you. But then I will talk about mitigation, because that's what we are discussing and what is most controversial at this time. I understand that President Sarkozy has pointed to three very important issues. Of course, the 2020 near to 2020 is too nice and too easy to be based on serious calculation. But that is not so important. The important is whether we can agree with the Commission, the European Commission, that a huge effort has to be made immediately. And then whether it is 20 or 19 or 21. But is it worth undertaking a costly set of initiatives and measures? And of course, that decision requires some good knowledge about costs and scenarios, effects. And we have had a very interesting presentation here. I am not in condition to provide anything better than that, but only I have a few comments on the side of the policies. And it seems to me that the real crucial variable in building any scenario and in taking any decision with respect to costs and benefits is that we have to make an estimate of technical advance, which by definition is something that has to happen. It has not happened yet, and we don't know. Carlo Carraro pointed out at the role of uncertainty in scenarios. But in fact, even if there is a range of uncertainty, one thing is certain, that there will be some technical advance. We don't know how much, and we don't know in which technologies, in which sectors. There is a variety of windows open, or a variety of paths that can be undertaken, which is unusual for the economist. It presents an incredibly high number of possible improvements and helps in facing the issue. And we cannot conclude which is the right one, which is the most likely one. It is very difficult to assess that at this time. It seems to me that a good understanding of this point helps us in understanding the American position, which has basically been let us concentrate our effort in technical advance and not in costly implementation of recipes based on present knowledge. I do not share it. I understand it. I do not share it because I think that we cannot avoid facing the issue with the weapons that we have in our hands. And we have to invest in better weapons, but at the same time we have to fight. We have to try and to reduce the amount of the issue, and also to assess, to stress a basic political point, which is that if there is a threat to our life and to the life of our children, we have to do something to face it. We cannot just wait and see. So I do not share that position, but I understand it, because of course it matters more. In acceleration in technical advance may matter much more than a huge effort in multiplicating solar panels of the present generation. So the key is technical advance. We do not know enough about it. There are a couple of things that we know. One is that it is, in general, a response to price differentials, or to difference between costs and prices. And the price of energy has been so low for such a long time that investment has been forgotten. Sometimes specific investment projects have been set aside. We are paying for that now. That should not be repeated. Even if there might be some phases in which prices or oil prices bounce back, which is possible. Which is possible. The present amount of investment may produce some bouncing back of the prices in the next couple of years. There are some people who forecast this. I am not sufficiently prepared forecaster to underline this, but I think it is not. I cannot rule it out. It is possible. It would be a great mistake if we accepted the situation in which the enormous wealth of initiatives now underway is discouraged by the likelihood that then the oil price is not going to be so high in the future after all. That's one point, and it may be untimely to pronounce these words, but when it's timely, it's too late. So I think we should keep that in mind and perhaps produce some sort of agreement together with all the agreements about the policies for energy saving and renewables and the reduction of emissions. There should be probably some other policies to face excessive downwards fluctuations. I know it's not popular, but look at the enormous cost that the low price of oil between 1985 and 2000